Yeah. So hi everyone. Myself Shrikant here, and today we have guest Kanishk Zadhav. He is working in software testing. He is in quality engineering, and I have a chance to work with him in my one of the companies. So let's go through his LinkedIn profile. So Kanishk has worked in multiple companies. So let's see. So he was in Mindtree as a senior test engineer, then in SQS senior test analyst, Taviska as a QA team lead, this Technologies QA lead. Then he was in Continuum for 3.5 years. So last position was principal quality engineer, and then ConnectWise principal quality engineer too, and then Stack Identity automation specialist, and currently he's working as a senior quality engineer in Jump Cloud from last 1.5 year, 1 year. So quite a good experience, and I hope today I will be able to gather more and more knowledge and extract more and more information for our QE community. So welcome, Kanish. Can you please introduce yourself shortly?
Hey, Srikant, thanks. So, you already covered about my introduction, but yeah, just to tell, I have around 2 decades of experience, means 17, 18 years of experience in quality engineering and working across various companies. And from last 5 years, 4 5 years, I am precisely working with the startups. So earlier I was into the Stack Identity, which was also a startup, cloud security related products we were offering, and also which was got acquired by Jump Cloud. So Jump Cloud is also related with the identity security device management. So which is also a startup found in uh, 2012 around. So and moreover, my complete experience is into the quality engineering. I started around in 2007. So it's a bit combination of initial few years into manual testing, then automation, localization. Uh, and from last few years, 6 7 years, microservice architecture and non-functional aspects nowadays with the complex architecture uh, involving introducing non-functional testing like performance, security, resiliency. So that is all about my experience.
All right. So quite a large spectrum we have, and I will try my best to get more and more info from your side for the QE community. So let's proceed. Um, right. So walk us through. So this is the typical thing I ask for to the every guest. Suppose somebody is having a QE experience or testing experience, say 0 to 2 years, or 3 to 7 years, and maybe lead 7 to 8 years, right? So what are your top three tips for resume or interview tips? What is it that you are looking for if you want to conduct somebody's interview?
Yeah, sure. And actually, this is the typical hurdle for anyone, be across fresher or uh, a person having a decade experience. So, what I would suggest whenever you are looking for the job change or new job, the first and foremost thing we see in the during the interviews, getting a call is one thing. So, the getting that call, it mostly depends on the resume, and nowadays shortlisting is so uh, efficient using AI. So your resume either get in or out, so no confusion. So be cautious about your resume. So mention all the relevant and whatever is your experience, but in addition to that, whatever is the job description, if your resume doesn't match with the job description, chances are very negligible to get the call. So make sure your resume comprises of cutting edge technologies, cutting edge trends, so that you get shortlisted. So that is one thing. And no matter for which position or which role you are going on. So if it's a quality engineering, manual testing, though the position would be manual testing, it's my experience, personal experience, that though the position is for manual testing, but the interview happens mostly on the coding and automation part. And being an engineer, it's quality engineer or development engineer, uh, coding is inevitable. Even in the AI era, coding is inevitable. So you have to have uh, good coding experience. So whatever interview you are preparing for, uh, most precisely it's data structure. So be good with the uh, data with some sort of coding, practice coding problems. There are good sites, so like HackerRank, LeetCode. Initially, and on HackerRank, it's my personal experience. I just wanted to do some step-by-step preparation for the programming languages. So Python, Java, you can get some day wise tips. So like day one, you prepare for variables. Day two, you prepare for methods, object oriented concepts. So you can day wise prepare for it. You get coding problems, and the coding problems on this side are like not just one use case it should solve. It should solve all types of use cases. Then only your problem is considered, your solution is considered as successful. So you get a lot of good overview about coding perspective and best practices. So if you practice that, any interview, and I usually say to my friends, so if you are getting a package of 10 lakhs, but if you solve the coding problem in the interview, you might get 11 lakh, 12 lakhs. So one problem is with just telling the importance in terms of monetary benefits, how it work out. So and even rest of the problems you can solve, but the coding problem, uh, basic thing you have to work. So that is very crucial for any engineer, any software engineer, be it is QA or the dev. They have to understand the coding, and the more you understand it, better you solve the problems. So be it framework or yeah, even with the the application you are testing. So that is one important tip I give it to everyone. And then whatever so nowadays for the freshers, I would say this is very important. This is important for everyone, but for freshers this is the important thing, along with the resume. And those who are with the higher experience, more than 5 7 10 years, then the non-functional aspects of quality engineering are very important. um, uh, though you are not very hands-on into that, but you need to understand those scenarios which could create impact for your application. So non-functional aspects, as I said earlier, so like performance, security, resiliency. In performance, some sorts of different types of performance tests like spike, endurance, load, depending on your application, depending on your end users, you need to understand those, and accordingly questions would be asked in the interviews. Then security, when it's a automation engineer or any quality engineer, then if you are aware about OS guidelines, which can follow, yeah, in your regular testing, so it would give a very good added advantage for the for your testing, and also for your career and your profile. So OS guidelines, and then there are various other kinds of testing you could cover in those guidelines at various levels, and most popular one is the injection, SQL injections. So you can yeah, incorporate those in your automation as well. So so that is one thing, and the resiliency would be little advanced, but very important. Nowadays the world is moving towards microservice architecture, so the systems are becoming complex, and in complex system, if any of the component is not working, it can break the whole flow. So if you are good with, if you have experience with the resiliency, and if you have done in the project, it would solve a lot of unknown problems. Resiliency could be known as someone may term it as chaos testing, monkey testing, but it's one and the same. But it's a very good thing, and nowadays it is creating a lot of buzz in the DevOps world as well. So it's good for your profile as well. So yeah.
Okay.
So these are the things I would give
Definitely.
advice.
So for the NFR, the non-functional requirement, non-functional testing, you're seeing security, performance, and resilience, right? So one, at least
Yeah.
if you have two of the three, your chances are very high to get selected, get interview calls, and probably if you prove yourself, you are having a very good chance to negotiate about your salary and other things. So must are the things. These are the things, starting from a senior engineer and maybe lead perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. So on the same line, upskilling, right? Uh, so what are the typical things? Let's say somebody want to upskill themselves for applying some job or internal. There is some requirement. So I know there are YouTube videos and there are courses online, many platforms. So what typically you will suggest very quickly about upskilling yourself?
So, as upskilling in your current role, mm, or moving to different role. So it's very context specific. But in your current role and in the automation journey, so you are moving towards uh, the technical leadership role. So in that case, though we have a AI, so which we may discuss in going ahead, but you have to have a good foundation of the coding programming languages, and the data structure uh, is crucial. So if you see no matter it's Fang, Mang companies, uh, all the interviews most precisely depends on the data structure. So you can learn n number of things, but mm, your the whole foundation of your this career lies in the programming language. So at least for the interview. So if you when the interview happens, out of 10 questions, you might answer 5 6 questions. But uh, yeah, if you have solved 2 problems 3 problems coding assignments, then the chances are very high. But if person has answered 10 questions, but he has not solved any coding problem or solved just one or two, then the chances are less for that person compared to the person who solved all the coding problems. So that is one thing. And with the QEs, there are a lot of different things now. You could be a quality data engineer in the data team. So there you can understand you can learn the cloud architecture, learn the ETL testing. So those corresponding tools. If it's a regular automation, then any automation tool. But when it's automation engineer, programming is that is crucial. If you are with the on the DevOps centric role or having aspiration in that centric point of view, then if you like uh, Python or Groovy, those scripting languages and the tools and the cloud architecture, uh, and like in the GitHub Actions or the Jenkins or GitLab, uh, from those point of view, those tools you need to learn from to upskill in that
Okay.
direction.
So understood. I mean, whatever is relevant to your current need, and maybe what you can anticipate couple of more things. If you have that as a skill, right? So you are definitely upskilling yourself, and the journey never ends. Okay.
Yeah.
Now again, next thing is typically what are the challenges at your level, right? So let's say as a lead, what are the challenges you face typically? Let's say every day. So let's say top 2 or 3 challenges. Would you want to explain quickly?
So, the most important challenge with the QE. So, the challenge of QE is the challenge of the organization. So, the production churn. So, if the issues are coming in the production, so that is the biggest challenge, and how to get rid of this. So, the release readiness. Mm ensuring the release would go smoothly and it won't introduce the production issues. So, so that is the challenge which I see very is faced by most of the organization, and even in my career journey, wherever I seen, so that is the typical problem which we see. And how you deal with the production readiness and the post production testing, that is very important. So like how you do post production testing, how you do you really monitor, or if you monitor, have the alerts set. Hmm. So these things are important. Then uh, automation coverage. So a lot of places there's very minimal automation, or it's very fragmented. Hmm. Your and because of that your release confidence is low. A lot of means manual bottleneck is there, or too much dependency on the manual testing. So that creates I understand that no matter what automation you do, manual testing is there and you have to do. But mm, nowadays with the microservice architecture and the most of this, if you follow the test pyramid, a lot of things could be tested through APIs backend, so which could be done through the automation. But that backlog is there. If the automation backlog is there, so that becomes quite challenging to go ahead for the release. So these are the typical challenges which I see. And
Okay.
obviously there are others as well. So like environment specific issues, the issues which don't appear on the lower environment but appears in the production. So these challenges are certainly there.
Okay. So, from based on your experience, you are saying is production related issues and then automation coverage and the kind of random issues, I would say, or some issues which are environment specific, which is there in production but not in QA or vice versa. So those kind of things you want to highlight. Okay. Yeah. Uh, right. So moving on. Um, Again, this is a bit of a trending and hot topic to discuss. So AI-based coding and AI-based tools used in QE, right? So I hope you must have used a couple of tools which are readily available in market or which are open source or freely available or maybe sometimes paid, for example, GitHub Copilot and many other things. So AI-based coding, what is your take on it? And then how do you look at it? Have you actually used it? Do you see any benefit?
Yeah, obviously. So first time when the Chat GPT came, and there was a lot of buzz about Chat GPT, and I was the first in my organization, in my previous organization. So I just used Chat GPT, and whatever problems I used to get, I used to get solutions from the Chat GPT, but it was not the editor, as in. So from the browser I checked for ChatGPT and was trying to find the solutions. But recently from last 1 year around, and now everyone is using the AI tools for the coding. So like Cursor, Copilot. Initially, we started with the Copilot, then Cursor. Both are fantastic tools, and honestly, a lot of efficiency has been improved, and also there is no scare or no fear about any programming language, any technology. You just ask and it does. But the challenge with these tools, what I see, that it generates a lot of code. It generates a lot of checks which are not necessary. So it's my experience nowadays. If I give uh, if I give a general prompt, it would generate 2,000 lines of code for small thing. Hmm. And it does a lot of check, a lot of sanitization, mm, fallback mechanism. If multiple fallback mechanism for the fallback cases. So it generates huge code. So it needs a thorough review. So my experience that of 2,000 lines of code, I am reducing it to 200 lines. So it requires review. But if you use good practice, if you follow best practices for the prompts, it would give you the precise and very crisp code. But your
Exactly.
prompt has to be very perfect. And if your Jira is if your Jira ticket is with all the details, and if you give a prompt with respect to following the Jira, then it's very effective. That is my experience. I am also learning, but that is what I have seen with these tools.
Actually, I was coming to the same point. So there's something called as reinforcement learning, where we have somebody who can give us what we want, okay? But then that person or that tool is giving n number of things. We don't want everything. So in the reinforcement training, first thing is we have to train our agent that, let's say there's some framework, so it is a particular language. These are the places where, for example, in automation we have page object model, we have some constants, we have some reporting. So this is the folder structure where you will find each and everything. And after that, give the user story details, maybe a Jira link, or maybe copy paste the description, and then tell the specific problem that, okay, I want to write, let's say, negative test cases for API or negative test cases for UI. In that, I'm expecting negative test cases only for these 2 3 fields. And so the more training you give, for example, there is a field which is a number. So negative test case might be, say, having a negative number. For example, there's a price. I will say minus 10 rupees or minus 10 whatever. So that kind of thing. So I have to give everything specific to the granular level. Let's say you are telling this info to a nursery person, or if a student going in the school. So the more precise info you give, the more accurate and intended output you will get, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, cursor is so fast. What it used to do, up to check-in level, it goes. So, you just give prompt, it immediately writes code, immediately check in the code. And I have given explicit, I have told it explicitly, do not checking, do not proceed with, or you don't even update the code before even telling me the solution. If the approach is fine, then we can proceed. So, but the more and more you use your prompt, your prompting becomes effective. But I agree with you that you have to enforce it for the uh, minimal execution, not at wider level, which involves a lot of unnecessary things.
Exactly. So, right. So there's a superpower available, but we don't want all the superpower from the tool. We want only targeted, specific, and the intended changes only. And that too, if that is done, only after our approval, go ahead. Otherwise, don't do anything, because it will go in a very different direction. And imagine, like, there are 10 people in the team. Everybody will write or fix their code, and you will end up in totally unnecessary things.
Yeah, exactly, and absolutely agree with it.
Yeah. I'm adding recently, I've explored this Google anti-gravity tool. It is very good. I mean, lot of things are possible in the anti-gravity. Even it will do the unit testing. It will open the browser and do many things. Okay, for the front end thing, and of course back end thing is already there. So yes, nowadays there are super powerful, not only powerful, super powerful tools are coming, that too for free in the market. So again, that you have to do Google login and it will go to Gemini, and then so even I am using Gemini for a lot of my other stuff. So a lot of things are available. Only thing is we have to be acquainted with it, and as you said, we have to be conscious, right? Okay. Anything else you want to talk about AI tools, AI based things? Any other thing?
Uh, I just want to add one line and tell this. AI is really a blessing to the humanity, and it has opened the doors of knowledge for everyone. So now the knowledge is available for everyone, and it's at very easy. So earlier, the knowledge was still open, the world was open, the Google was there, the books are there, there's no hurdle. But still, it was quite difficult to dig that knowledge. Nowadays, with the AI, it has opened the doors, and that is the most beautiful thing about it. The only thing, whatever challenges we see, those are very low compared to what we were doing before the AI. So, if we use it judiciously, it's really a blessing.
Yes, exactly. Just one small point. So I was, I mean, I'm from functional and maybe some NFR background. I have not much explored the security part or the penetration testing part. So I was just thinking, is some days back, why can't I explore? So I just gave one prompt to any of the openly available tool, free tool, and it gave me lot of tests which I can easily do on any of the website. I was like totally surprised, how come within just one prompt, maybe 4 5 lines of instruction, it is giving me entire thing. Okay, of course the OWASP, OWASP and other things are there, but these things are very simple and easy to I can try, and that's how I can I can get interested into improving my skill. I can upskill myself. No need to go through any courses or any lot of things. So these things are available. You just have to ask it, and it will give you without much I mean, let's say free.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Means in the same manner, I had done research. So like how OWASP guidelines I can follow in my day-to-day automation. Mm. So it has given me for every guideline. So like for latest, I guess 2021 or 24's OS guidelines were there. So for each guideline, how I can follow it. Hmm. And how I can implement it in my automation. And in my functional testing, it has given me, and I created that document. So that's why I'm saying. So like earlier, you could have got the what the guidelines are, but the implementation, how to do it, it gives all the approaches, and you can fine tune it, you can tweak it. So obviously, there is scope of improvement in that. There may be a lot of unnecessary things, but it's giving you the good cooked food. Mm.
Exactly, exactly. Okay. So moving on, similar things. So writing better tests with AI versus AI powered visual testing. So especially from the UI or the front end testing. What is your take on it? Have you explored some AI visual testing tools?
Honestly, not. But yeah, we do write some test cases using AI. So, what I usually do, I do means give the whatever the Jira ticket description or the functionality is there, or whatever documents are available. Based on those, we create the functionality. We write the test case in the BDD format. Mm. It covers most of the things and document which which has all the guidelines that for the AI tools for let's say it's cursor or copilot. According to that, those guidelines create test cases for the requirement. So it creates beautiful test cases. Still, in the review, we find 1 or 2% review points. So like it sometimes it creates some duplicate test cases. Mm. Sometimes which is not necessary or which may be a little irrelevant. So uh, though it is creating the test cases, but you should review it. So review is must. Mm.
Yeah. So I just want to show one thing here. I was just exploring this. I hope you must have seen this browser use repo. So what it does is, again, it's a individual perception. How do we use it? So this AI agent, if you install locally and give some uh, AI tool key, whatever cursor, ChatGPT, OpenAI, whatever, what it will do is you can give human instruction to this tool, okay, that go to this page and do the registration. That's it. It will open the browser, it will go to the elements, and it will automatically log in with the, let's say, positive test case, negative test case, and so on. So this is a demo. And just this will see that you just have to give the instruction, and it will automatically find out the element, logically find out the element, and what do you say, automatically script yourself. So
Wow.
yeah, a lot of things are available. A lot of things. There's a lot of YouTube videos are also here, so you can explore this.
So,
No need to write code
is
also.
it open source or
It is
do
it
they
is
have paid version as well?
it is open source, but it needs a key for your for of your AI.
Yeah. The only challenge with the open source tools, organizations for the data privacy, they don't allow. Otherwise, it's a beautiful tool.
Okay, you can
Looks.
give it a try on your local or personal system. See if it is
Hmm.
useful. Then maybe it's a value addition in your profile. Okay. Right. So now, okay, in the interest of time, quickly, because we have less time left, uh, monolith versus microservice, right? So the shift mindset, end-to-end testing, what is your take on it?
So, so what is happening nowadays? Most of the organizations moving towards microservice architecture. That is the trend. Monolith. We have been means few years back, till few years back, all of us were doing the monolithic, and will not talk much about it. But the microservice architecture is mostly the backend. So as I said earlier, so in the test pyramid, so first comes unit test, then backend API test, then few UI test, and very few end-to-end test. So why end-to-end test? Well, because in the microservice architecture, there are lot of services, bunch of microservices, lot of different components. And if the basic functionality of their APIs are working fine, so it's obvious that end-to-end would also work. So that's why end-to-end test cases are reducing, and end-to-end test cases are also expensive. So when you are doing end-to-end testing, it's a bit expensive than your back-end testing or unit testing. The cheapest is unit test. Then a little bit more, a little expensive, your API test, and end-to-end is the most expensive. So that's why end-to-end test is reducing, and whatever the issues you are bound to see, most precisely you can see in the unit test or in the API test. So that is also one reason its end-to-end test is uh, getting minimal attraction now.
Okay. One more topic we can quickly cover. So, mocking test cases, or what mocking can we use, or stubbing we can use quickly.
So honestly, the mocking mostly I have used for the performance testing, and the one which I had used, which I found quite efficient, is with the AWS API gateway. So that API gateway you can use, and anyone can go and learn it. It's very easy. But for the performance testing, wherein you actually want to test the processing time of the service which you are testing, or the load where you are generating, just mocking the dependent components, so that actual the performance of that particular service code could be tested. And in automation also, you can do mocking before the development is done. If you know the payload and contract details, then you can mock it. In karate, it does provide that mocking support, and I guess a lot of new tools, those also support nowadays that mocking part. But this is the one thing which, but depending on the requirement, you can learn the mocking. But it's a good thing if you do it. The your the desired objective could be achieved in a better way.
Yeah, just a simple example. Let's say you have some service, you want to test the performance of the service individually, right? But let's say nowadays everything needs an authentication. So authentication is something which is a third party service or a new some other service. So what you can do is you can create a stub or a mock for that, so that you get a fixed token or something. Maybe you can do a whitelisting for the token inside your service, so that every time authentication stage is passed, and then you can test your service independent. That is what matters. So that is how you can individually, maybe once this is one mocking or one stub. Like this, if you have many other dependent services or dependent items, you can mock them.
But this is, one authentication token which may valid for certain time. So in that case, even if you do not do mocking, or if you do mocking, that is fine. But in if every transaction, if you are interacting with some other service, in that case, mocking becomes very crucial. So like you are testing you on one API, and it's sending details to another API, calling another API, fetching those details, and then giving you the output, processing that data, and then giving you that output. So in that case, if you mock the dependent API, then whatever processing time you are getting or whatever is the response time, that is 99% or 99.9% is of your service. So of that particular API. So their mocking becomes very crucial.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of good discussion, Kanish. I think in the interest of time, let's conclude here. Maybe we'll continue in the next session. Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for your time. Definitely, if time permits, we'll have a next session. So
yeah,
thank you.
sure. I also loved it.
Mm.
The good discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks everyone. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.